Welcome back to another episode of Sport Exposure Podcast. Today we have Chelisa Painter here, my former active woman in sport, excuse me. Sport Exposure is all about exposing our stories, exposing our journeys, the things that we go through to inspire the next generation of student athletes. So Chelisa, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do actively. I know you wear a couple hats, as most queens do.
I wear a couple, I do. So I am from Chesapeake, Virginia.
7'5".
Yes. I grew up all my life, basically, from like third grade all the way through high school. Played basketball from Indian River Middle all the way to Indian River High. Graduated from Old Dominion, but I went to 2 universities. Most people don't know that.
You did.
Yes, I went to George Washington before I went to Old Dominion. Mm-hmm. Obviously finished at ODU with my bachelor's in sociology. After I played, I went overseas for 3 seasons. My first country was Ireland. My second was Italy. And my third was Luxembourg. In between the seasons, I was like, am I going to continue to play basketball? No. So
I feel that. Heavy on that. I feel that.
So I was introduced to officiating through another official, actually current NBA official, Tony Brothers. And he asked me to referee. I was like, for what?
Who wants to do that?
I don't want to do that. People want to yell at me. No thanks. But he showed me how much he make every 2 weeks. And I was like, ooh.
Change your mind. Think about it.
Let me crunch those numbers.
Right.
But in all seriousness, he showed me, how all I needed to learn was how to officiate.
Because I
already knew about basketball. Right. So that's that hat. So I officiate women's college, Division I women's college, mostly, as well as the NBA G League. So those my officiating hat. And my other hat, I don't like to say side job because I do both of them equally.
Right.
My other job is I'm a qualified mental health professional. So I help adults and children with different mental health diagnoses. Essentially, I'm a life coach that helps them, get through their mental health issues. And, I always say the example, I just let Johnny know just because he's mad, he can't punch nobody in the face.
Exactly. So. We need those in our life sometimes. This is not what I'm supposed to do. This is what I want to do, but that's not right.
Exactly. So those are my, just a couple touch-in of what I do and how I've slowly progressed there. So.
Okay, well, we're going to start with college.
Okay.
You started at George Washington.
Yes.
How did you get the Old Dominion?
So I graduated in 2010 from obviously high school. Started in 2010 at George Washington. Only did 2 seasons at George Washington. At the time, my coach, he gets fired. So, that's always tricky when a new coach comes in. You don't know if he'll fit their style of play, who he gonna bring in,
exactly.
or he or she will bring in.
What their intentions are.
You don't know. So I was just like, I'm gonna go where I know people. So when I decided to they call it transfer portal now, but remember we didn't have all that. We had to declare that we were. I can't remember what we did, but I feel like
they had to release us. We had to ask for a release from our coach.
Yes,
and then move on that way.
My coach got fired, so I didn't have to do it the same process. But yes, so release from university. Talk basically, how that makes way and word. So Karen Barefoot at the time, she recruited me when she was actually at a different university, but at the time she was at Old Dominion, and she was like, "You trying to find a school? Oh, come right now." Perfect. And I was like, "All right, I'm coming home." So,
coming home.
That's
that was perfect, right? Yeah. So talk about the triumphs that you went through, going through that process.
Ooh, good question. So you go through a lot of different things. You go through. Because what is it? I'm a second year. So what am I, like 20, 21? Yeah, I'm about 21. So still growing in life, right? Still having to understand I need to get my education. So making sure, it was stressful that some of my credits didn't transfer over. So I had to take classes at TCC for them to transfer over for my degree. It was like the most stressful summer just to get into a university,
right.
So there's, school, and then there's family trying to move back home from living away. And then,
that's a huge adjustment too.
It's like
now you back up the street.
Listen,
all eyes on you again.
It's just so there was that. And social life, you know, maintaining a boyfriend, maintaining friends. You know, we don't really work when you were in school either, so it wasn't really much of that. But
Right.
there is that. There's no money for real because you're a broke college student.
And no, there's no money. Not no for real. There's no money.
So you're a broke college student. So there's all of those factors that, and on top of still trying to make sure I perform physically, and you know, still reach my goals with everything.
So before we get real deep into things, Sport Exposure's motto is all about celebrating triumphs and learning from our defeats. When you hear that and you think about your journey, what comes to mind?
My triumphs is, let me see. There can be anything from different coaches. I'm not going to specifically say any, but you can feel when there's coaches that you don't think are in your corner. Even teammates. You know, there's those
haters.
Those different strikes that can occur. Your own personal growth, not understanding that your emotions is your emotions. I could say I got a lot of feedback from my teammates that I wasn't the nicest person all the time. And I'm like, you B words make me upset. So
I say what I say.
You know, so it's like you would get just all these different perspectives of you, and sometimes you don't like them, you know, but
that comes with being a leader though.
Yes. And then and at the same time, I'm trying to be a leader for a group of women. We're all a different group of women with different households, different expectations,
attitudes, personalities,
all of that. So it's a master for disaster to put all of us in one room all the time for 8 months out of the year.
That's a lot of hormones.
Really 11 months.
I was just about to say 8 is light. I only get 2 months home.
Exactly.
If
so
that.
It's to triumph. It's like really working with yourself with everything that's going on around you. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So did your experiences in college lead to mental health? Is that what you wanted to do? How did you pick that track?
No. So led to mental health. So I had to say, I got my degree in sociology. I actually wanted to be a probation officer for juveniles. I did. Yes. So because I believe no kid is bad. I think they experience, you know, life earlier than some people, and not given opportunity. To me, that's the difference between me and another individual. I received opportunity. They just didn't.
And people don't know what they don't know.
They don't know.
Especially when it comes to these kids.
They don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
So I wanted to be like a superhero for little people, you know, but as people don't understand, when you get this degree that you work forever for, and then it's time to go apply for a job, what job? You know,
what experience do you have?
What experience do you have?
Oh, you were a basketball player? You won this? That doesn't count.
That doesn't matter. You know, where's your references? Oh, those don't matter either.
Because they are coaches.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So just trying to that was my like goal, was to become a juvenile officer. So it switched from obviously playing overseas because life warped into, all right, now I'm gonna be a basketball player because that's all I know right now, right? So I get actually into mental health because I ran a youth program at the YMCA from like 2017 to 2019, 20-ish, right after COVID is when I quit. I quit in November 2020 at the Y. So working there, I had a lady, she would come in every day and she would work with this one kid. And he was one of my kids that was like, his behaviors were negative. They were, you know, he just would act out and it'd be like, what's up with him?
Right.
But he was just one of the kids, you just leave him over there. So she would visit him all the time. And one day I was walking through the lunchroom and I was like, what do you do? And she told me what she did. I said, you sound like you do my job. I just do it with a bunch of kids and you just doing it with one kid.
Right.
So she told me how to apply and how much more. And basically the biggest thing for me was the freedom from my schedule. So I have clients after this, but
don't stop.
Yeah. So I have 5 clients on my caseload. You know, you visit them for whatever their caseload hours are for a week. And, you know, they have an ISP that you service. So if they have confidence and self-esteem issues, you help aid in that with interventions. I mostly bring them into the community. But to back up, she told me how to do it, what it's for, how to apply, everything like that. And once I got into it, I will never go back into a building working again. Okay.
I know that's right. Congratulations to that. I know that's right. But you did say one thing I wanted to highlight. Going through this process, you said you chose to play basketball because you didn't know anything else at the time. And I feel like a lot of student athletes, we do things to buy time.
Mm-hmm.
I know myself, before I got my master's this last time, it took me 3 times. Like I dropped out, went back, dropped out, went back, because you don't know anything else. And that's the safest place.
Exactly.
That's the safest
and
route.
Kudos to you, because I'm not going back to school.
I don't think I'll do it again. I don't think I'll do it again. But what exactly goes through your thought process when you're making that decision? Because a lot of athletes, they're not going to tell you that.
Mm-mm.
I'm going overseas because I have nothing else better to do.
No. And it's always applause. Like, I don't know if you notice, you should, from everybody that has played with us, and after everyone's applying, oh, year 5, year 6.
I'm tired.
Yeah, like everyone, like you get a lot of likes when you post those posts for whatever sport that you're doing, professionally after college or whatever. I found that by the time I got to season 3 of overseas, when I came back, I had nothing, because what I'm paying rent for in America to be overseas for 9 months.
Right.
Car would be sitting for 9 months.
Right.
Coming home to no job because I'm waiting for my next contract. That's a little stressful for me. I don't know about everybody else. That's your cup of tea. That's fine. But I felt like I wasn't an adult when I would come home between seasons. So that was the more stressful part about really just picking basketball, because I would come home, apply for jobs. No, my first job was the YMCA out Mount Trashmore, Virginia Beach.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Y'all gave me my first job ever, so.
That's crazy you said that, because my first job ever was at the YMCA too in Hampton.
Yeah.
I think I was like 23.
Listen,
exactly.
I was old. Everyone I was working with was 16. Like,
they looking at me like, didn't you? I did, but I'm here with you.
With you. Thank goodness I have a young face, so nobody believed I was way older than everyone. But it's just, that's what I was resulted with from all these years of education that was free, but not free on my body, not free on my mind.
Exactly.
But I'm here.
It worked out. It worked out. So do you think that you went overseas as a means to an end?
Essentially, yes.
Is that how you went into it?
Not at first. At first, I was like, oh, this is great. I'm about to go live in a whole nother country. Thank goodness my first country was an English speaking one, though. I can't say that if I went to a country where I was lost, I would be as comfortable.
Right.
So Ireland, they just speak broken English. Their favorite phrase is "for fuck's sake." Like,
oh, that's easy. We can get around that.
Yeah. So I think that was comfortable. That was, it was a 6-hour difference. There's that adjustment. There's food adjustment.
It's still not too crazy.
It's not too bad, So for where I went to, it definitely was. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a professional athlete. Like, I was like, I'm gonna be a professional basketball player my first year out. Mm-hmm. Once I got to the second one is where it's like, I
don't know about this.
No, it was more, I did know I wanted to play, but when it was coming back home again to like, all right, what am I gonna do? All right, I got another contract. I'm gonna just go again. Because like you're saying, at home, what am I gonna do?
It's not much here.
No, not in America. I was like, all right, America will be here. I'll just go live abroad, travel for a few years, play basketball, learn a language. I'm not losing. That's how I felt. Right,
because America will be here when you got
it's
back.
Gonna be here.
And it was waiting for you. Waiting for you. Did you always know you wanted to be a professional basketball player?
I do remember, like, when you're younger. So I'm actually late at playing basketball. I didn't start playing basketball until I was 14. Yes. Yep. Tried out. My friend, her name is Kiara Kelly. I always shout her out. She asked me to try out with her in middle school. I was like, girl.
Basketball?
Yes. I was like, girl, I never played no basketball.
That?
Mm-hmm. She was like, try out with me. I was like, because she was just scared to try out. And I was like, whatever, I don't care. So I tried out. I had glasses, y'all. I'm talking about like
The thick joints.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a tie in the back?
No, but I used to get so mad because every time they fell off, I was so mad.
You ain't had a goggles yet?
No,
you
no
won't serious yet.
Because I ain't playing.
Right.
I ain't playing. So she asked me to try out with her, and I made the team. And really, I'm backtracking. But when I found out that you can receive a scholarship to play basketball, is when I was like, oh, let me get good at this. Let me, and I'm tall. Let me learn how to do this.
I honestly think that was the only reason I tightened up.
For real, exactly.
Because I was a knucklehead at one point.
Yeah.
And until I realized, like, oh, you kind of get people like, because like growing up and playing, I don't think I took it serious in middle school. I dibbled and dabbled younger ages. But when I got to high school, I'm like playing with the girls that we playing. I'm going up. I'm like, I see y'all going to school. I'm like, oh, this is normal. I could do this.
Yep.
That's why let me get my act together. let me tighten up. Let me tighten up.
I was like, a free scholarship? Oh, I do want to go to school. I got to go to school, right? So it's a lot of money to go to school. If I can get it for free, I think this is a good deal, you know.
Using what you can, using that ball.
Exactly.
And I feel that a lot of us miss that opportunity to use the ball to get us where we want to go.
And I'm still using it where I'm at. Still using it.
Because I feel like it's the one thing that's never going to go away.
Sports ain't going nowhere.
Ever. Ever. And I try to get away from it, but it's just like, you know what? It doesn't feel like work to me.
It's not.
I can go out and do whatever in the world, but sports is one thing that's always going to be there. Whether it's 15 years, 5 years, 10 years, they're still going to be bouncing that ball.
Still. And there's so many jobs in sports. It's ridiculous. From every little aspect of sports, there's a job for it.
And I don't feel that our student athletes know that yet.
No. They just want to be the athlete that's being watched.
It's so many other ways to go pro. I like to say it that way.
Yep.
Because now I'm looking at these jobs, they got cybersecurity in the league.
They have anything with a computer.
Digital marketing. Like you're on your phone all day anyways.
All day.
You're on TikTok anyway. They have TikTok positions. Salary.
It's crazy.
TikTok positions in the league.
There's so many jobs. Like I can't even sit here and list all of them that you can potentially be a part of.
Did you know you're going to stay in sports?
No, I don't. I remember saying that, like I said, I was going to be thinking I was going to work as I applied to be a police officer. I almost was a firefighter.
Well, at least you're going to stay active.
Yes. Yes.
Got to.
Yes. I still work out like 4 to 5. I still probably work out like I'm playing.
Oh, I do too.
Basketball. Yes.
I do.
I don't play. But yeah, I wanted to be, well, let's say those type of jobs are always needing of citizens, police officers, fire. I don't do no blood, so being a paramedic was a no. But jobs that are honestly easy to fill, those are the ones I was applying for with my degree, sociology. So that's really what I thought I was going to be. But
talk about the transition.
From where?
Let's start at college. Let's back up a little bit. I know that was also a transition going from collegiate basketball player to professional basketball player. Yeah. And I've been told it smacks y'all in the face. I chose not to go that route on purpose.
So I don't know what reference to smacking, but I know when I got overseas, it wasn't no passing the ball. Like, I'll never forget in Ireland, I really had like...
You went crazy too. I remember your stats. I'm like, dang, is she passing the ball at all?
Nope. Because it was like my coach, he was like a very short Irishman. I just remember his first name was Mark. He was interesting guy. He was like, don't pass the ball. Like, don't pass the ball. I was like, all right, fine with me. He was like, they'll get your rebound. Fine with me.
And I remember your highlights. Yeah. Like, she was not passing the ball. I mean, she'll get the rebound, dribble, and one. All that. I'm like, oh, she's serious.
Yes,
Ain't no other teammates.
It wasn't. It was fun because they house you, they feed you, and when you have your off time, you go travel places. Like, I miss that. Like, to fly to Paris, it was only like €30. To fly to North Carolina is $500.
The math don't be math.
Don't make sense.
I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly. I ain't gonna say what I think America is sometimes. But
I'm with you. But having that experience is coming back, it opens your mind to a lot.
What? Oh, my favorite experience to tell. Can I please?
Yes.
Oh,
please.
My goodness. My favorite experience when I stepped foot outside of America. I tell all people are my complexion or close to this. When I was overseas in Ireland, my first like week there, I met girls from Africa, let's say Congo, Senegal, Liberia, and one more other country. There's like 4 of them. They're all around me. And they're like, "Oh, where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from America." You know, I'm excited to meet new people, meet other people. And she's like, "Okay, where your parents from?" They're from America too, you know?
Right.
She's like, "Are you mixed race?" No.
Who said that?
Both my parents are black like me. Like, well, why do you have freckles? So now at this point, I'm like offended. Like I'm feeling offended because I'm like, okay, they're trying to really self-identify and they're looking at me like, you're not really black. Like that's what I'm interpreting from African women, African American, can't even say that. African women
right.
are looking at my American self and like, you're not black. So that was my first time self-resonating where in America, they tell you you're African American. When I go somewhere, I got Africans looking at me like, you're not black.
She's not supposed to be here.
You're not supposed to be here. Who are you? Where you
How
from?
did you?
I'm talking about it was the first time I was like, I'm confused.
I thought we was friends, sisters, queen. Where you going?
No. That was the first time I realized here it's just very interesting, the dynamics of how they put color on us here. It's just, that's my favorite experience because it made me open my eyes to being black in America, you know. So over there, you don't know how many times I've never been asked, am I American? I have been asked, were you Brazilian? Are you, what part of Africa are you from? People start speaking French to me. Like nobody believed I was American until I spoke.
Because of your voice, your language,
exactly,
right?
Of course. They can hear the accent, but no, it's just like over here, oh, you African American. It's confusing because I ain't never stepped foot in Africa at all, or my grandma, or her grandma either.
Right.
So
we've been over here. They got us a while ago.
It opened my eyes to a lot of things being in another country where people are trying to identify you.
Did you experience that on the court too? Did you experience racism overseas? I know you were in different. I know it varies in different locations.
I can't say directly because I know Italian men, they love black women. So
that's one thing I say about them overseas men, baby. You go over there, you're gonna find you one, okay?
They love black women. Okay. So Italy, I can't say so. And it's harder to say because I'm the athlete there. So if I was maybe a regular citizen, maybe. Mm-hmm. I personally can't say I experienced anything ill towards me. No. I haven't.
Okay. What was your hardest challenges you had to overcome overseas?
Being injured. Roll my ankles. These ankles, they always...
That's my annoying injury that just comes, goes.
It stays because my inches on my heels some days got to be 3 instead of 6. So
I hate that.
So
it's just, gotta pull out the kitten heels. Right. You trying to step.
It's just overcoming an injury there because if you're the only American, they pay you, they need you to play. So overcoming injury and then like fighting back from it. So you still want to get not that they can take my money from me, but it's still like they trying to get you back to play. So and I hate ankle injuries. I really was done with basketball the last time I twisted my ankle, and I twisted it real bad. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this.
This is it. Hanging it up.
Good.
I feel you. Do you think that the experiences and the skills that you picked up as a student athlete coming up helped transition into that process professionally or now in your career?
I think because I work with people, so definitely because you have to be able to work with potentially 15 other people and really 4 more from coaching staff. So being able to communicate with people, understand their emotions and feelings, not, putting that back on them. Mm-hmm. So really, and I don't think people understand, like, you have to work with people everywhere, like every level, everywhere.
I don't care if you're at McDonald's, Wendy's,
wherever,
Starbucks.
It doesn't matter, wherever. So being able to articulate yourself and have social skills, I think those are like biggest ways to navigate and get where you want. Networking, we all know that. Like,
That's the bottom line right there.
Yeah. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
And I'll take it a little further. It's who knows you.
Oh, yes.
Because I could know you, but you may not know my name when I come across that desk.
Exactly.
I tell my athletes, you have to make an impression. Use your resources, use the jersey, use the name, whatever's on your chest right now, use it the same way that they're using you.
Yes. And we weren't afforded all the NIL, opportunities.
We would have ran that up, child.
I tell my friends,
I would have found a way to jump into everything.
Instagram, it started with, in our era, like, I wish Instagram was the tool that it is now when I played.
For real.
But
it's millions out there.
Even.
I'm happy for him.
Right.
I'm happy for him. So I'm going to have to do it. Make sure y'all do using it wisely.
Please use it wisely and safely. Safely.
No. Heavy on the safely part. Please. It's sad that we have to say that.
Turn your geolocations off too. My God. Stop.
See, and those are things that I told around with in college that I don't think that they understand. Like, it's certain things that you are not supposed to post, that you shouldn't post, that just don't belong on social media.
It just don't. Take one more second before you say send or post or whatever all these things say.
And even growing up, it won't as bad with us.
No, it won't.
But now, you get out there, it's gone. Like, yeah. Is that?
That's you? Nah. No face, no case.
It's right. Now, it's like you have to be very mindful of that. And I feel like they're trying to get it. But it's like athletes tote the line of being themselves but being an athlete.
You can't. Not in social media. You can't.
Be an athlete.
Sorry.
And that's usually the safest route. The safest route. So how did you take care of your mental health through all of this?
I could now say from where I am now, before I got into mental health, really understanding what I'm doing to help my clients, I had to learn my own mental, as in my own behaviors, my own attitudes, my own emotions, actually self-resonating with what can affect me, what affects me, what bothers me, who bothers me.
That's a tedious process.
What?
I went through it too. I'm still going through it.
You have to literally feel yourself when your emotion moves this way or emotion moves that way. So you said how? What did you say?
How did you handle your mental health?
How? Reading. I read a lot of books. I've talked to other people that I feel like I can speak to about how they handle things. So I think example from other people's lives are the best. Like, I love when someone can keep me from breaking my ankle in a hole. Like, that's my favorite. Like, I love to hear someone give me advice on, don't do that because da-da-da.
I did it. And this is what happened.
Exactly. So, okay, well, I'm going to dodge that hole and I'm going to go this way. But to answer your question, trying to grow, like learning what growing is. And I think a lot of people are okay with staying themselves. I'm not. Like, when I feel stagnant, I'm like, oh no, I need to learn something. I need to somehow get better. That's from, I'm learning something with my clients. They teach me things all the time. I'm trying to teach them things. I'm trying to expose. My biggest thing is exposure. So finding things that I like, that interest me, going to it. That means events. I don't know. Like I said, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of self-improvement books. Like, my favorite book was the 4 Agreements. I just got the 5th Agreement.
I read that a couple months ago. I like that.
It was like my favorite. It was my startup book to like realize like self-expression or just understanding yourself and how it is and how you are in society and how you can probably like resonate yourself to society without, I don't know, doing too much. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Keeping it level.
Yeah.
Keep it level.
That books, and trying to figure out who I am. It still is.
That's an ongoing process.
Still is. Yeah.
Especially for student athletes.
Yes.
Because I feel that I'm 27 now. I feel that I don't think that I stepped into who Michaela was supposed to be till maybe a year or so ago.
I feel that. And you still got time. Listen.
Because it's like you're constantly figuring out what you like to do. Like, I was ready to be done playing basketball. I couldn't wait. I'm tired. Like, I don't want to touch it. Don't invite me. I don't pick up none of that.
Nothing.
Nothing. I don't do that no more.
Nails. I'm not playing that.
Retired. I can't afford to break these. We're tired. But going through that process, I knew I didn't want to play ball, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
I agree. Because we've been shoved with go to practice, go to this game, AAU tournaments. We've been shoved with travel and a basketball all our lives. All our lives. And then you better go to class. But who's checking on you go to class sometimes?
Exactly.
But you better go to class. It's just, that's it. You're exactly right.
And that's the ongoing journey, I feel like, for post-student athletes or post-athletes or even sport professionals. Because sport consumes a lot
of time.
And that's one of the reasons I didn't want to be involved in it, because I'm tired. Like, yes. I recognize that I'm young. This is time I don't have no kids. I don't have no real responsibilities. And this is time.
No kids.
Y'all hear that? Zero. Zero. But I say that all the time because I feel like people think tech is at a flex, which it could be. But this is time I'm not going to get back. Yeah, it's the time I'm not going to get back. And while I have this time, I want to encourage a student athlete to just get out there and, like you said, try different things. It's sometimes things that you would never would have thought about doing.
Never. I would never thought I was going to referee basketball.
I had no intentions on being behind the camera.
Never.
Zero.
So whatever you say never to, think twice, because you never know. Look, can I say that never? Look,
no, for real. Just be mindful with your words.
Yes.
Be very mindful with your words. Sure. So moving on to being a referee now. Navigating a male-dominated field. That was never, ever set up for us to be in. I know how hard it is.
Girl,
please touch on that. I know it's a lot.
If I could touch on everything. So for me, I feel like everyone's walk in being an official is different. So people always tend to ask me, how do you even start? How did you get to where you got to? Usually the way is laddered. It's like you work with the little people, as in like 5-year-olds, and then you just keep moving up in age group. Mine was a little bit accelerated. I started with little people, so you can understand. And those Norfolk games with 5 to 9-year-olds is actually like you would think it's an NBA finals. Okay.
Parents going crazy.
But you would thought little LeBron was out there. You know, it's just it's absurd. Anyways, just in a male-dominated field. So one, you have to understand a lot of basketball is in urban areas, right? Majority, right? Especially in our area, you know. People, one, I'm seen as very young, so they can't, in people's mind, you can't take orders from someone who's young. I'm not out there to order or boss anyone around. I'm here to adjudicate the rules and make sure this game is played fairly. That's all I'm here for. But people, they take some type of, I don't know, personal issue with officials. I don't know why, but they do these things because it's called working the official. Like they want to get them to what? They want to get them to, you know, sway their calls, get in their head. I think it's stupid because if you make an official nervous, they're prone to make more mistakes.
Right.
You know, so but anyways, to function in a male-dominated field, I come as myself every time. I'm never rude anyway. I don't have to be loud and boisterous to get my point across. I think this thing is knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to get to people, and actually getting plays right. I don't have that many issues because I'm trying to make sure I'm officiating the game to the best of my ability. If I missed a call, I'm sorry.
It happens.
I could have blinked. You know,
sneeze, cough,
anything. So there's always going to be people that's going to be people, you know, and you just handle them accordingly. I'm going to always be a lady. Always.
It will never lose. It will never lose. You said a mouthful. And I feel that I can attest to all that because being our size, our height.
Oh my goodness. I'm taller, bigger than the average male. The average height for a male is like 5'9". I'm 6 foot, probably 6'1" with my shoes on. So.
And we love heels.
And I love heels. So sometimes I'm 6'7". But anyway, males in the sport, a lot of times they don't know how far I went in basketball, so they can't even agree that my education on basketball is anything.
Back to they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. So, like you're saying, just being can make someone else feel intimidated or inferior, and I didn't even say anything yet.
And that was the biggest adjustment, because I kind of got smacked in the face because I moved to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's southern, the deep south.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up here, working for the MEAC, I've always been in sports, but I've always been around my own people.
Mm.
So going down there, I have this confidence, which didn't sway or anything. But it's like they're literally mad because I'm in the room.
Mm.
They ain't even looked at the resume yet. Like, they just mad. They just mad literally because I'm in the same room that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Then they don't want you to say anything. What does she know?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm forced to be. And it's like you have to choose your battles wisely.
You do.
Back
it's
to
a chess match. We don't play checkers.
Ever. And just learning that, going through that process. And that's the reason why I'm so transparent about my story, because as a woman, Black, white, whatever your color is, and size-wise, all of those are facts. It's like everything matters.
It matters.
When you're a woman, if you're an attractive woman,
Mm-hmm.
you got pretty hair, pretty eyes, you dress nice,
Mm-hmm.
don't let you have a resume to back it.
And it's really you just walking in the room, someone sees you, and then they look at themselves like, oh, there's something I'm missing because I saw you. So
we just happen to be the full package. Everybody can't be.
And I'm just like, I ain't got nothing to do with what you got going
exactly.
on in your head. Nothing.
And that's how I had to approach it. Like, at the end of the day, I know who Kay is.
Mm-hmm.
I know who Kay is on paper.
That's what you gotta be.
I know what type of credentials I had. I know what I've done. And sitting at these tables, I'm at presidents, deputies.
Nice.
And to be honest with you, my resume is heavier than theirs. They just had more time at the same place for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. No scratch to you. You like
exactly.
Your life.
But what advice would you give to a woman that wants to be in your shoes? Because I know working in sports is very intimidating. We're around men all the time.
Man.
We can handle it because we have the mental strength to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I look at it is the things that I go through, the things that we have to go through, I don't feel that any woman should even have to.
I would say be you. And that sounds so cliche. That sounds so normal. That sounds so whatever. It's really that, because for refereeing, everyone's always trying to be another referee. There's top referees that go to tournaments of every level, pro, as an NBA, WNBA, NCAA, men's and women's.
It's levels,
even,
right?
Yeah, even high school. Everyone goes to the highest level possible of each. And in every world, they're trying to really emulate someone else. Why? Why would you emulate someone else? Nothing wrong with taking a feather out someone's hat and then putting it in yours, but you should still freestyle it and make it about you and what you can be and provide for whatever your field is. And I'm speaking because of how I moved in refereeing. The biggest thing for me was like trying to learn to adjust to the room, because the room is male dominated, right? So everyone's going to be wearing suits and pants and potentially sneakers. I don't wear stuff like that.
Not in my closet.
Not in my closet. So that was the first thing of just, self-identifying for me, was just like, Chelisa, you like clothes, you like to dress, there's nothing wrong with that. Always be appropriate and professional.
Right.
So I come in the room being myself. Like I have had a comment from a referee. It was like, dang, you come in like you ready for the Met Gala. I was like, I would love to be invited there one day. And that's what I'm saying. You always got to be prepared that someone's going to probably say something to you. And not that made me mad or anything. I took it as a compliment. Thank you.
Right.
But
where's my invite?
Shout out. But just being yourself and being proud that you're yourself, a lot of people aren't proud to be themselves. Whatever you bring, be strong in it. Be strong in your voice. And your voice doesn't mean that you have to put someone else down either.
Delivery.
Correct. All the time. Be graceful, gracious. And, just, I don't know. I'm a happy person too. So when you're not self-resonating with who you are, it will show.
Project, right.
So If you can't fix yourself first, I don't know how to tell you to try to fit in a room with other people.
That part. You said talking about being gracious with your words.
Mm-hmm.
Thing with men, that isn't the easiest thing to do from time to time.
I find speaking with men easier than speaking with women.
I've gotten to that point now.
Yes.
But I had to go through some bumps and bruises to get here.
I'm telling you, speaking with men is easier because I can be charming. I can be, I can understand it's essentially maybe what their problem is from the aspect of either their heightened tone or whatever their issue is. But with women, I always find with my games, I'm trying to figure it out. But with my games, I end up being called the B word more times.
They mad.
They
be mad.
I know. And I just be like, I just want to be cool. Like, why y'all got to do me like this? So
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out that communication aspect. I try to, just speak. I probably speak maybe too direct. I don't know. It's still trial and error. And I'm just trying to figure out. So it's people skills.
It is. And what I found with my journey is usually the women that give me a harder time anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree.
And to your point, talking about it is easier to have conversations with, like I said, with men now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've learned that, and in a way, working in sports, being a woman, you got to find a way to use it to your advantage. Because naturally, men want to talk to women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you say out your mouth, how you deliver that, will say a whole nother thing. If they keep coming back to you, or if it's taken the wrong way, out of context. And it's very important that because we are women in the room, we have to be that more mindful.
I would always say I never put myself in positions where I know I can make either party uncomfortable. So that can be in many ways. How I text, how I respond to text messages, my interactions, my body language. I'm just always making sure that the room is comfortable and I'm comfortable in the room, because
it starts with you.
Yes, because anything can only go as far as I want it to. Right. And
because we do have that power.
Right. And two, it's always really your reaction. It really is. So because someone says something not the way, don't mean I have to respond negatively. I don't. I teach my clients there's 4 ways of communication. There is passive aggressive, there's aggressive, and there's assertive. And I always ask them, out of those 4, which one should you speak in? And they really don't know the definition of in any of them. Right. So I tell them assertive. Assertive basically just means I'm not being rude. I'm speaking my truth. And really, if you can't understand that, I don't know what else to tell you.
And being assertive, I feel like leaves less wiggle room.
Right.
So if I said what I said,
right. Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
Yes.
And as a woman dealing with men, I feel like that's very important.
Yes, you have
when it comes to the delivery, the text messaging, how you're answering, please don't give no man no type of wiggle room for anything.
Please. Especially and in the first message, if you always feel like, if you look at your phone and turn your head, it probably is intended that way. Figure out a way to, the cue to me is figure out a way to still get still answer the question or whatever, get your point across and exit nicely. Because you never know who the boss gonna be.
Don't burn no bridges.
That's just real, Obviously, if it's foul, please report to whoever you need to report to, of course. But understand that people gonna shoot their shot.
That's the real right there. Because it don't stop. Like, I used to get overwhelmed at one point. Like, I'm just trying to work. I'm really just trying to work.
On the court, you have no idea. I tell my friends all the things that was said. Like, listen what was said today. Like, you have no idea all the things that could be said from on a basketball court by the time I leave the gym.
I believe it. I mean, it comes with it. It comes with the crown.
It comes. It comes
with the crown. So who is Chelisa outside of all of that? Outside of sports, outside of mental health, outside of refereeing, officiating? How would you describe your personality?
Which a lot of people don't know, I'm actually funny. I play too much.
I've gotten that from you in passing. Yes. We had a good time.
Yes. Play way too much. I think I'm a wine connoisseur. Like,
really?
Yeah, I love
Me
red
too.
wines.
Okay.
I love red wines. I sit on my balcony. I paint. I told you I read books. I'm a plant mom. I have no kids, so all the time I want is to myself, and to my clothes. So I love, I love shopping. My man loves to buy me things.
I know that's right. Yeah. My man.
I go to church every Sunday. I see you in here. Every Sunday I can make if my schedule lets me. Definitely believe in God. That's a little summary, you know. You gotta get to know me to know me.
Right. Follow up. Follow up if you want to know more. Do you feel like you're walking in your purpose?
I do. And because of when I walk in a room, I feel I can light it up. So
that's powerful.
For sure. I know I can't say I've known that, but I'm growing into that and I'm learning that. So for sure.
How did you grasp that? Or did it take somebody to point it out? Or
I did hear it. Like, I've heard many times where people be like, I was not feeling well and you just made me feel better. Like, I've heard that many times and I feel it. Like, I feel energies when I walk in a room. Like, I can feel if it's intimidating or if I can feel if it like lightened it up. So, and then sometimes if I feel it's intimidating, I know how to shift the view. Like what you say, when you walk in a room, you can feel women not, not messing with you. So I'd be like, I know how to like, feel an energy and be like, okay, this person don't like me, but she gonna like me by it, or they're gonna like me.
The ones I know that don't like me. Hey, queen, I like your hair today.
I'm not gonna be agitating, but by the end of it, you're gonna be. I have been told many times people will say they did not like me, they didn't know why, but by the end of it, they'll like me, and I'm like, I know I don't do nothing to nobody.
Exactly. That's y'all. That's a you problem.
Yes.
Are you in the community giving back?
Yes. I find with my mental health job, it's definitely giving back. Of course, I get paid, but as long as they understand there's a better life than the one they're living, because it's only just what you see. Understand your environment and know that everything isn't going to be all right all the time, but there will be good days. So
those are powerful gems.
Yes, I tell my kids these all the time because they're always potentially underprivileged families.
Majority of our community.
Mm-hmm.
And I have experienced in my time giving back to the athletes or just giving back to the community, because as athletes, naturally, we have the spotlight on us, which I didn't necessarily realize till a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But like naturally, little kids look up to us. They still remember your older men. They remember your Indian River. It's just like, you still remember that. Mm-hmm. And it gives me a sense of rewarding to know that I'm in a position for them to look up to. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's really about reassuring them that you don't have to, where you're at right now, it's
temporary. Completely.
Exactly. And I feel that in both of our positions, we're in great positions to show the kids, especially our little Black and brown girls.
Especially. And yes, and I love that sometimes I do find our little boys get like pushed aside a little bit. So and only because the science behind the things that I try to do for my clients, I never can find activities for boys ages 9 to 12. I can never find things. So if anybody can hit me up,
I was just about to say,
find me things to do for young boys from 9 to 12. You can put it down to about 7 to 12 for real too. But those are two different age groups. But it's always a struggle for me to find interventions that are engaging besides just sports for my clients that age.
So keep that in mind. Run that through the nonprofit. Maybe we can create something for it.
Please. But yes, shout out to all my little girls. I always teach them, stay away from the little boys. Like
as long as possible. Until it makes sense.
And being funny, but just definitely trying to show them how to be a lady, how to carry yourself, how to be a good friend, how to love another woman.
That's huge.
Listen, I'm trying to teach a lot in whatever before their discharge date. So
for real, but they need it. Mm-hmm. I know they're so thankful to have you.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, it's one of those jobs like you don't see the progress in a day. You know, you see it over time. So if it happens, it does. If it don't, I'm gonna keep going.
The ball gonna keep rolling, keep rolling. So what advice, before we finish up, what advice would you have to student athletes that may have maybe toting in line with ideas of careers outside of sport? And where did you start? I know you had somebody that you saw and you asked them exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. What advice could you give to them?
So a lot of it is, I hope you're not taking basket weaving right now, you know, taking degrees that will actually
They're good for that.
Right? They will. Please get degrees in what's going to be valid in the world. So that's business degrees. That's anything with technology nowadays. Obviously anything with nursing and, you know,
medical area.
Yeah, that will always be having a trade. That means hair. The refrigerator will always work the same way. So just anything that's a trade, please.
Tap in. And you can do that while you're still actively playing.
Because people don't understand. Once you get that piece of paper that you work so hard for, some people in school 6 years, but for 4 to 6 years, you get that paper and you show it to whoever you're trying to apply your job for, it doesn't mean anything. And your GPA is not on your degree.
But they tell us C's get the grade.
But get into something that will sustain you for the rest of your life. People they get stuck in the basketball for just 4 years and they're not thinking past that. And I don't think a lot of programs are not teaching that either. They're just using them for their program as well. So
use them the same way they're using you.
Yeah. And a lot of us are first generation graduates. So honestly, they don't even have the education at home to know that. So from what I know, thank goodness someone grabbed me up with the fields I'm in. But you know, I would say definitely find someone in that field, get a mentor. You want someone who's at the best or the top of that profession that can help you, because they can give you gems that.
And that is so much help to navigate through these fields. You don't know how many doors it can open for you.
That person.
All it takes is one. Mm-hmm. All it takes is one. So finally, Sport Exposure is about exposing experiences, exposing our journey, or really just exposing facts to help the next generation of student athletes to navigate the world. Mm-hmm. What do you want to expose? It could be something that you wish somebody would have told you, something that, as we see, sports is constantly evolving. They're leaving out some important knowledgeable facts. It could be detrimental to student athletes, whatever. It could be from being overseas.
I'm not exactly sure on with the NIL deals if these young adults are getting the actual proper education on money and knowing what money can do for you, as in putting it in LLCs and investments. So I personally, if people ask me, would you take $1 million or something else, I'm like, I probably spend $1 million in a year. You know, like $1 million really isn't anything anymore. Exactly. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying? $1 million isn't anything.
It's not what it used to be.
Correct. So learning about my money would be the biggest thing. Really learning how money is a tool would be the biggest thing I expose. So I love that these kids and these young adults are getting this type of money, but please use it to your advantage and for your future, because we really should be setting yourself up for 45 to pass on, as you know.
Absolutely, because once that money stops coming in,
once your body can't do what it used to do, is the part they don't tell you either, that you're expensible and the next person's gonna, take your spot. So,
and that's in life, though.
It's in life. It's a job. Don't kill yourself for a job, because they're gonna replace you.
Take care of your mental health.
Everything. Your mental health, your physical, emotional, and spiritual.
That last one is key. Take care of it, guys. Thank you so much for your time. This was so much fun. I hope that student athlete, woman or male, gained something from this episode. A lot of gems were dropped, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Thank you.